reviews, figure reviews, unboxings and rankings, random figure reviews, similar groupings of figures, and the occasional toy hunt. All right, YouTube Trolls Toys, back at another episode of Random Figure Review, episode 41. And we're going to do Masters of the Universe, ThunderCats crossover Panther Man. I believe he was $23 from Big Bad Toy Store. We're going to do Daryl Dixon, Walking Dead. He's more of a statue than a figure. McFarlane Toys, $10, Rieta Ranch Flea Market. We're going to do Eric, Dungeons and Dragons, $8, GameStop, Natick, Massachusetts. We're going to do Series 29 Legends, Bobby the Brain Heenan, $11.50 from Target, Marlborough, Massachusetts. And Black Series Darth Nihilus, $18, Walmart, North Smithfield, Rhode Island. So price point for this episode is going to be $23 or less. So we got a $23 figure, an $18 figure, $11.50, 10 and 8, and that's all like clearance prices, obviously, but that's the way we roll. Except for Panther Man, he was only full price fig in this bunch. All right, the patriarch of the legendary Heenan family, Bobby the Brain Heenan, managed some of the biggest superstars of the golden era, including King Kong Bundy, Big John Studd, and Andre the Giant. When he wasn't trying to take down Hulkamania, the Brain entertained the WWE Universe with original programming like the Bobby Heenan Show and Primetime Wrestling alongside Gorilla Monsoon. And we did long game Bobby, so we got two of them for the price of one. So one's in the package hanging on the wall and one's right here loose. He does come with extra gripping hands. And I mean, I think you could use this torso for pretty much any commentator. If we take this shiny jacket off, he would just have a red bow tie. So that's cool, but we don't have a loose Bobby Heenan, so we're gonna use him as Bobby. Obviously, we'll put him with Big John Studd, Andre, and King Kong Bundy, and among others, we'll just have his stable of wrestlers that he managed that he'll be displayed alongside. So Series 29, Target exclusive Legends, Bobby the Brain Heenan, looking pretty good. The head is a little bit wonky. I don't know, maybe that's just me. But I do like the shiny jacket, right? So $11.50 price point on Bobby. Up next, we're going to go with Panther Man. Not all ThunderCats are good, as Panther Man finds an ally in Skeletor and his plans to overthrow Lino as Lord of the ThunderCats. And obviously, we did pick up Battlecat Man, and we have since added Skeletor on clearance and Panthro on clearance from this way, but we're not all in on these. But I thought Battlecat Man and Panther Man I definitely wanted, even though they're repaints of each other, just because it's a cool concept. All right, just like Panthro, he popped into half out of the package. That's crazy. So we're going to have to get him snapped back together. All right, he doesn't come with much in the way of accessories other than like the terror claws and the helmet. Just a repaint of Battlecat Man. I felt like Battlecat Man at least had a backpack or something that went on him, but maybe I'm wrong. But I see nothing with Panther Man. I mean, he's got the plugins to have something, but he doesn't have anything. So I think that maybe they just cheaped out on us. I could grab Battlecat Man and take a look, but I have not done that as of yet. Let's see on the instructions. Nope, he just comes with the claws, and that's it. Yep, all right, well, it is what it is. Panther Man is figure number 2. Random Figure Review, episode 41, price point. I believe he was $23. I want to say that's what he costs. But I do like him. That's why we picked him up. Those were the two that interested me the most on that wave. Skeletor did turn out to be a pretty good figure as well. We have him displayed as Skeletor versus Mum-Ra. Thinking about getting a second one to do the Mum-Ra version of. Does come with a nice little card, which is pretty cool. Darth Nihilus. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 features Darth Nihilus, a Sith Lord so lost to the dark side that he became an endlessly hungry void. Right, gaming greats. Waited for him to go on clearance. He'd been down to $20 from 28, and then at 18, he was the last one that the store had. So I went ahead and pulled the trigger. All right, does have a cloth goods cape. Not super familiar with the character, obviously. Double jointed pinned knees, single jointed elbows, which is slightly unfortunate, but I don't really do a lot of the big posing anyways. And he obviously comes with his trusty red lightsaber. So that's what we're going to have in the way. I guess black, I always, like I say always, I think Black Series would be more popular. Like maybe if this was cloth, or if, I know he's a Sith Lord, but if they gave us somewhere that he could sheathe his lightsaber, but I see no attachment point to put it on him anywhere. So I feel like the Black Series figures would be more popular and wouldn't go on clearance nearly as often if they just had a little bit better accessories. I mean, like G.I. Joe. I mean, same company. And they charge the same price for them, so it baffles me that we get so little with Black Series and so much with G.I. Joe. Up next, we're going to do Eric from Dungeons and Dragons. Still got to find Presto and Sheila. I've seen Presto at a toy show and missed him. And then they had him at the toy store that I like recently, but I just totally spaced out and forgot to look for him. But they put him in the video that they'd picked him up. All right, here's Eric out of the package. We've had Bobby, Hank, and Diane for some time because they were staples at Ollie's, but the other three, Sheila, Presto, and Eric from the cartoon, seem to be at least much harder for me to find. So we finally found Eric, which is cool, and he was affordable at $8. Single jointed, and this arm does not really want to bend, and I don't want to force it. Yeah, also made by Hasbro, so obviously not nearly as good as figs. He does come with, obviously, the Dungeons and Dragons die. And then with the shield, no sword, just a shield. So I guess, you know, that is what it is, Eric. He can defend himself, but really no offense. And I haven't watched the cartoon in quite a while. But I am happy to get him and add him to the Dungeons and Dragons display. Never really was big in the game. I played it a few times. I don't think I had the patience for it, right? Or the imagination. But I did love all the cartoon and the movies from back in the day. And Honor Among Thieves wasn't bad either, in all honesty. If I'm being honest, I thought it was fun. So we have a bunch of those figures as well. So we have some Dungeons and Dragons now by Hasbro and some by NECA. So NECA obviously 7-inch scale and Hasbro 6-inch. But Eric is a nice addition to the family of Dungeons and Dragons figures, so I'm happy about it. Let's see if we can adjust this effect where it's on the front, so it's, or maybe we can't. There we go, there's Eric. So Bobby Heenan 1150, Panther Man 23, Darth Nihilus 18, Eric 8. And that's going to leave Walking Dead, McFarlane, Daryl Dixon. He's going to be more of a statue versus a figure, but we're going to count him in this episode anyways. We got him from Riata Ranch Flea Market a couple of weeks back for $10. And Daryl Dixon, Norman Reedus, is my favorite character by far from The Walking Dead, so I couldn't pass him up at that price point. All right, so here's Daryl, Norman Reedus, in a statue form, we'll call it. He does come with a knife. The knife has a sheath, which I appreciate. The crossbow is quite detailed. I like that. He comes with a nice stand, which is also handy to have. I don't know exactly how it's going to work with the peg on his foot being at an angle. All right, I mean, he's not 100% statue. He's got a little bit of movement in his ankles. You can move his arm and his hand to get the crossbow set up. I'm not going to worry with this other hand too much. Oh, there we go. That's going to be good enough for me right there, I think. He does come with a nice spine and Walker head, so that's pretty cool effect piece. I gotta say, when I'm comparing this one to the 5.5-inch McFarlane's, even though this is a statue, I'm way a bigger fan of this, and I don't normally like statues. But to have Daryl, I mean, I had to do it. I had to get him. So that's the 5 figures we reviewed in this episode. And let's see, we're going to go least favorite to our favorite. I'm going to go Darth Nihilus in 5th. I'm just not familiar with him. I do try to collect the Siths and the bad guys, so we did pick him up, but I'm not the most familiar with Darth Nihilus. We don't have to worry about too many extra accessories here because we don't have many. Eric, I'm happy to add you, but you are going to be 4th place, right? Just a little bit of a plain Jane fig. And we're going to put Eric from Dungeons and Dragons in 4th. Bobby Heenan's going to be 3rd place. And then we're going to go Panther Man in second, and I'm gonna say Daryl is the winner, even though he's a statue. Obviously I'm a big fan of Walking Dead, big fan of Norman Reedus, big fan of Daryl Dixon. So 18 bucks, 8 bucks, 11.50, 23, 10. But we're gonna say Daryl's the winner of Random Figure Review episode 41. As always, this has been Trolls Toys. I truly appreciate you watching my videos, and we'll see you soon. Peace.